Hi everybody, I'm Kathy Resnichek,
I'm Richard Pressler.
and we are going to be talking about the fourth and final assignment in Module 2 in the Wired Networking course from TapdVCOE2. So in the last assignment, we looked at Layer 3 addressing protocols, and in this assignment, you're going to be looking at Layer 3 routing protocols. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's going to look like and how that might be a little bit different than what we did in the last assignment?
Absolutely. So in the last assignment, we were talking about how addresses are segmented out. So basically how a subnet mask works, how an IP address could be organized into different segments, right? Well, those segments can be advertised from router to router so that a router knows where a segment is exactly.
Oh, wow.
For example, you could have a segment like 192.168.1.0 with /24. And that segment could live at one of your school campuses, but you could decide to move that segment to another school campus, and all of the routers in the school network could understand that that segment has been moved. Right?
Okay.
Or you could have a school campus that there's two ways in. There's a way in from the district office, and there's also another way to get there through another school, for example. And by advertising those two ways, routers along the way can make a decision about which one is the best path to take.
Okay.
And these protocols are
So
essentially
kind of like Google Maps or
yeah,
Waze or
right. If you think I need to get to point B, I'm at point A. How do I get there, right?
Right.
Now, in the real world, geography doesn't shift around too much.
Correct.
In the computer world, it shifts around all the time. These networks are constantly moving. Now, maybe not within a school district. They don't move very often. It might be intentional that they're moving. But on the public internet, as you can imagine, there's changes happening all over the world all the time. And so it was important for them to have protocols in order to determine how to communicate those route changes to all of the routers on the internet, for example. Or in a school district to communicate a route change to all of the routers in the school district. It also can save you a lot of time. So if you have a new school coming online and you have networks at that school, well, when you turn those networks on, the router at that school could advertise all of those routes to the rest of the district. So now you don't have to go touch the routers in other parts of the district to say, oh, for this network segment, point here, you know? Here's the next hop. So they're very useful. Now, there's a variety of these. Just like everything else we've discussed, there's a history to it, and there's usually more variety. And usually more variety than you have time to really dig into. So we divided them up into two categories. There's interior gateway protocols, and there's exterior gateway protocols. An interior gateway protocol is a protocol that you would run on your own network, where you're basically making a decision about what protocol you want to choose. And there are some that are manufacturer specific. They only work with one manufacturer's routers. But we're going to focus on the ones that are standards based.
That's good.
Because that way it works with any manufacturer's routers. So we'll talk about RIP, which is an older protocol, but simpler, easier to understand. And we'll talk about Open Shortest Path First, OSPF. Which is a little bit more complicated, but also gives you more flexibility. Those are interior gateway protocols. On the exterior gateway protocol side, we're just going to talk about the protocol the internet runs on, which is BGP version 4, Border Gateway Protocol.
Border Gateway Protocol.
Right. That is the protocol that drives the internet. And if you are connecting to service providers and you want to share routing information with them, it's almost guaranteed you're going to be using BGP. That's the protocol of choice. It's especially useful when two parties need to transmit route information to each other and they don't really have the same network administrators, so they can't trust each other. BGP is very explicit. You have to tell it exactly who you're peering with and exactly what information you want to send them. That's really how it's designed. The other protocols like OSPF and RIP, they're much more dynamic. When you turn them on, they often basically discover the network around them, and then they share that information with other routers automatically. You don't have to really go in and tell them much more information.
But you're in your own house, so to
you
speak.
Are, yeah,
so then,
so it's fine. You're the network administrator. You own it all. So you want it to be simple. You want it to be easy. You don't want it to be overly complicated. So those are the three protocols that we're going to discuss.
Sounds really interesting, and lots of test questions and those acronyms, right?
Right, exactly.
Awesome.
we love the acronyms.
Yes, we do.
All right.